I appreciate all our witnesses here today, and I'm looking back to when the Commercial Space Launch Act was passed in 1984, and I think it's, and then amendments, of course, in 1988 and 2004, and I think it's fair to say that the commercial space industry indeed has come a long way. Not only has it come a long way, but it's growing and changing every day as companies and entrepreneurs continue to generate new ideas and technical concepts for potential commercial space transportation systems. Mr. Chairman, I think this type of ingenuity and innovative spirit that defines our nation and our economic potential is great, and I want to see it succeed. And as I said before, I'm one of those adventurers who wants to be a passenger, but of course I want it to be safe. And of course my enthusiasm is tempered by the recognition that there are a number of questions that remain outstanding in this growing industry that need to be answered and issues that need to be resolved. The recently passed extension of the third-party liability and indemnification regime for 3 years, I think, means that we have the time for a thorough and thoughtful examination of these questions, and I look forward to our subcommittee conducting future hearings to address them. For example, should we be providing indemnification permanently, or should we be laying the groundwork for a shift toward an insurance-based regime? How might such a transition occur, and on what timeline? What would such a transition mean for the insurance industry, and what other industry models can we examine for good practices? There are also questions about how liability should be treated for passengers or spaceflight participants, as they're called. And that brings me to the question of whether the policy and regulations for commercial space flights with humans should differ from that for commercial launches carrying satellites, cargo, or other payloads, which have comprised the commercial space industry to date. In short, the real question is whether a one-size-fits-all approach to commercial space transportation and policy and regulation are appropriate for this industry, or should we consider different frameworks for commercial human and commercial uncrewed space transportation systems. Already we're seeing the existing statute being tested every day by the evolving nature of the industry. So I hope that we're going to be able to answer some of these questions. I'm going to enter my full statement into the record so that I can relieve your ears of my voice. But I will say that I think this sampling of the range of questions for our witnesses today tells us that we have so much more to learn, and I really do hope that this committee will do what is intended, and that is really thoroughly and thoughtfully examine all of these questions, because I think it's important both for the maturing and growing industry, but it's also important for any potential passengers and crews. And I know that we hadn't had that time before, but certainly with this 3-year extension in place, we have the time for that kind of thoughtful consideration right now. And we also have the time to examine other industries that have evolved, and we have examples of them that may show us some window into the way that we need to deal with the potential liabilities in this industry. And with that, I yield.